Entourage, what's up, what's up? Hope everybody's having a fabulous Friday. Ready to kick off the weekend, lots of exciting games, and actually I'm going to be doing a weekend playoff league this Saturday, so tomorrow, and we'll be drafting against each other. It's an 8-team league. It's only $5 to join. I have a promo code. It's going to be through Drafters. We're going to draft based on the teams that remain in the playoffs. It's only $5 to join. If you deposit $10, Drafters will double that, so you'll have another 10 in bonus play. So definitely join, and if you win, I will give you a shout out on my Instagram stories. So that's that. Oh, I almost forgot. You guys been asking about this for a while. Finally am able to launch my merch. That will also be in this description. You're gonna have hoodies like this, my tees for men and women, and a special limited edition talent over everything apparel. Really excited about that one. I designed it myself, and I'm gonna, it's gonna be a limited edition because I'm gonna be bringing in new and different designs, different apparel. So if you want to get in on the talent over everything, make sure you click on the link that will be in the description. Well, guys, let's get into today's video. I wanted to talk about quarterbacks and why I never draft one early. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm very selective on the players I draft, and there was really only 3 quarterbacks I was telling you guys to draft, and that was Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, and Josh Allen. Well, those 3 quarterbacks, I mean, I wish I would have told you Lamar, but what can I say? Those 3 quarterbacks that I did tell you about, though, Winston finished 4th, Allen 6th, and Murray 7th. Despite their ADP, Winston was going around 9, 10, sometimes later. Allen was going in like round 16. Murray was going in like round 9. So definitely you would have made out a lot better waiting on a quarterback, but that's not it. I mentioned Lamar. He was the number one quarterback in the entire fantasy football in 2019, and he was going in, depending on the league, round 9, round 10. Sometimes somebody told me he went around 14 in their league, so it really depends on the league, but he definitely wasn't picked early. The number 2 quarterback was Deshaun Watson. Now, he went in about round 4, but I mean, you can make a case, okay, that he held his keep, but not really if Lamar went in round 10, and then the guy after him, Dak Prescott, was going in round 12 or 13, and he only outscored Dak Prescott by 13 total points, or 1 point per game. Same thing with Winston. Winston had 1 point below that. So Deshaun Watson had 332 points, Dak 319, Winston 318, Russell Wilson then had 313, and he was going in round 7 or 8. So I really don't recommend drafting a quarterback earlier than you have to, which is usually, round 10. I mean, the last couple of years for me, I'll tell you right now, I drafted Wentz 3 years ago now, or 2 years ago, 2017, I guess it's 3 years ago. When he had his MVP season, I drafted him in round 13, I think, that year. Now, it was a 10-man league, so he probably would have went around, 11 or something in a 12-man. The year after that, I drafted Mahomes in round 10. You notice I'm pretty good at picking quarterbacks, but I make sure that I wait. And the reason I picked those 3 quarterbacks, and Murray, who finished 7th, went in round 9 or 10. He was actually my favorite and finished 3rd out of my top 3. But I always look for a couple of things. I look for quarterbacks, first and foremost, that can beat you not only with their arm, but with their legs. That's what I liked about Josh Allen. And I mentioned this going into the year, that he finished as the number 1 quarterback. I think it was after week 12. He was the number 1 quarterback in all of fantasy. So why was he being picked so low? And that was as a rookie. So I definitely like Josh Allen because he's a dual threat. It's the same reason I like Murray. I knew Cliff Kingsbury was going to have the ball in Murray's hands quite often, and he did. And he would have finished a lot higher had he had some weapons. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals were pretty bad, and they had a bad O-line, and he still finished number 7. So I definitely like Murray, going into next year. The only problem is people will now be picking him probably in round 4 or 5, and he could still hold that value because, again, he's a dual threat, and I expect that offense to improve. And then I like Jameis Winston because I knew Bruce Arians, they were going to throw and throw and throw some more, and the Bucs defense was going to be bad, so I knew they were going to throw even more. So Jameis Winston's not a dual threat, but they had no running game. I knew he was going to be down a lot, and the Buccaneers and Bruce Arians' offense were going to throw. So, and look, out of the top 12 quarterbacks, over half were chosen after round 7. So you had Lamar Jackson, you had Dak Prescott, you had Jameis Winston, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and then Carson Wentz. All those guys were going, or Brady. Brady was number 12. Brady was the number 12 best quarterback in fantasy this year. So the only guys that were going early was Mahomes, who finished 8th. Matt Ryan was going kind of early, round 6 or 7. He finished 9th. Rodgers was going in round 3 or 4. He finished 11th. And that's not even mentioning the quarterbacks that you could have got as free agents. Daniel Jones was the thing later in the year. Ryan Tannehill, he was the number 2 best quarterback in fantasy when he became the starter, only second to Lamar Jackson. Ryan Fitzpatrick was great down the stretch. So it's always easy to get a quarterback, which is why take care of your core positions. Make sure you get that anchor at receiver, that target hog. Make sure you build depth at the running back position and wait on the quarterback. I will be foreshadowing here, but I think this year's Josh Allen, Jameis Winston, Kyler Murray, one of my favorite quarterbacks, if not my favorite quarterback, because I'm sure he's going to be chosen a lot later, is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has what I look for in a quarterback. Value, because he's not going to be chosen amongst the top 10, maybe even 15. And he's a dual threat. A lot of people don't look at Daniel Jones like that, but he is a dual threat. They even have designed runs for him. At least they did under Pat Shurmur. I'm sure the new coach will be innovative. They have weapons. Barkley's going to be a lot healthier. So I absolutely love Daniel Jones going into the 2020 season. All right, guys. If you have any questions or comments, feel free, comment down below. If you agree with me, maybe you don't agree with me. Maybe you believe that, a guy like Lamar Jackson is worth taking. Now, there are exceptions like a Lamar Jackson, like a Pat Mahomes, but we've seen it before, guys. Carson Wentz, I mentioned early in 2017, was an MVP candidate, hasn't played anywhere close. Deshaun Watson still hasn't been as good as he was when he was a rookie. Pat Mahomes, we saw a little bit of a drop-off, although not as much. So I do expect there to be somewhat of a drop-off with Lamar Jackson, and just for the simple fact that teams have more film on him. They now know he could throw the ball, and the NFL is a parity league, so they will adjust. And he had a record-breaking year. I mean, it's a record-breaking year for a reason. He had arguably the best, if not one of the best fantasy seasons ever, broke the record for rushing by a quarterback. So that's hard to duplicate. So I do like Lamar Jackson, but these people that are talking about taking him in the first round, even early second, I'm not for it. The earliest, maybe late second, third round would be ideal. All right, guys. But like I mentioned, if you want to debate that, feel free to comment down below. Also, like I mentioned earlier, I got the merch. Not only these shirts and hoodies, but also the Talent Over Everything limited edition apparel. And if you want to join me in this weekend's draft, where we're going to be drafting on Drafters, players that are still in the playoffs for Saturday and Sunday's games, use the link. I got a promo code for you, and you'll be able to double whatever you put in, up to $50 in bonus play. All right, guys, until next time, peace. Out of here.